There comes a point when you stop waiting for luck, for chances, for someone to come and save you. There comes a point when you look in the mirror and realize the only person who can change your story is staring right back at you. Every doubt, every failure, every setback was never there to break you. It was there to build you. You've been tested, beaten down, overlooked, but you're still standing. That means something. That means you've got fight left in you, because the ones who win aren't always the strongest or the fastest. They're the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who keep moving when their legs burn, who keep believing when the world says they're done. Winning isn't about talent. It's about heart. It's about the fire that refuses to die even in darkness. It's about waking up every day with that voice inside whispering, I will win. Not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, but because it's who you are. You've come too far to stop now. You've sacrificed too much to give in. The pain you feel today will become the power that defines you tomorrow. The decision to believe in yourself when no one else does is the moment that separates dreamers from doers, the weak from the unstoppable. It's not a loud decision, not something you shout to the world. It's quiet, personal, and born in the shadows when no one is watching. It happens in those moments when doubt fills your chest like smoke, when people walk away, when the world looks at you and sees nothing special. That's when you find out who you are. Belief isn't something you're given, it's something you build. It's the armor you forge out of rejection, the fire you create out of loneliness, the strength you discover in silence. When no one believes in you, you start to see the truth. You never needed them to. You start realizing that faith isn't about waiting for validation. It's about declaring your worth before the world ever notices it. Believing in yourself is not arrogance, it's survival. It's what keeps your heart beating when everything else tries to stop it. There will be times when your name won't be called, when your efforts will go unnoticed, when you'll give your all and get nothing in return. That's when belief matters most. Because the world doesn't hand victories to the most deserving, it tests who can endure the longest. And endurance is born from belief. It's easy to have faith when things are working, when people clap for you, when results show up. But real belief starts when everything is quiet, when it's just you, your thoughts, your fears, and that one spark inside whispering that you were made for more. That whisper becomes your weapon. It grows louder every time you get back up. It becomes your truth when everything else feels like a lie. You stop chasing approval. You stop needing permission because you understand that your belief is the foundation on which everything else will be built. People may doubt you. They may laugh. They may call you unrealistic. Let them. Because what they can't see is the vision you carry inside. They don't feel the fire in your chest. They don't see the sacrifices you've made. They don't know how many nights you've spent wondering if it's worth it. But you know. You know that belief isn't just hope. It's a commitment. It's standing up again after life knocks you down 1,000 times. It's trusting your process when nothing around you makes sense. It's refusing to let the world define your worth. Belief is the seed from which greatness grows. Without it, every goal fades, every dream dies before it begins. You must believe even when logic says you shouldn't, even when your past screams that you can't, even when your circumstances look impossible. Because belief bends reality. It changes what's possible when you believe in yourself. You start walking differently. Your shoulders straighten, your voice gets stronger, your actions carry weight. You stop hesitating. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You start creating your own opportunities instead of begging for them. You stop fearing failure because you understand that it's part of the climb, not the end of it. Belief makes you unshakable. It makes you resilient to criticism, immune to envy, unstoppable in pursuit of your vision. People may not see the hours you've spent, the nights you've cried, the moments you almost gave up, but belief does. It remembers. It reminds you that everything you've endured was preparing you for what's coming. And when you start believing at that level, the energy inside you changes. You stop chasing people. You stop seeking attention. You start attracting purpose. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you never doubt. It means you move forward despite the doubt. It means you don't let fear sit in the driver's seat. It means that no matter how many voices tell you it's impossible, you still find one reason to try. Because when you believe, you give yourself permission to fail, to learn, to grow, to evolve. You give yourself permission to become the person you've always wanted to be. Belief doesn't make life easier. It makes you stronger. It turns pain into power, mistakes into lessons, and rejections into redirection. It builds a fire inside you that can't be put out by disappointment. And eventually, the same people who doubted you will look at you and wonder how you did it. But you'll know It wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It wasn't magic. It was the decision to believe when no one else did. The decision to trust your path, your effort, your heart, even when everything around you said otherwise. Because once you decide to believe in yourself fully, completely, unapologetically, you stop waiting for the world to give you a chance. You create your own. The power of relentless consistency over fleeting motivation is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Motivation feels good. It's that rush of energy when you hear a powerful message, when you set a goal, when you picture your success, but motivation fades. It's an emotion, and emotions change. Some days you'll wake up ready to conquer the world, and other days you won't even want to get out of bed. That's where consistency steps in. Consistency doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't wait for inspiration. It shows up no matter what. It's the quiet, disciplined repetition of doing what needs to be done, even when your heart's not in it. It's waking up early when your body aches, showing up to train when your mind says rest, working on your goals when no one claps for you. Because greatness isn't built on the days you feel like it, it's built on the days you don't. Those are the days that define you, the days that separate the committed from the comfortable. Consistency is not glamorous. It's repetitive. It's exhausting. It's often thankless. But that's where the power lies. Anyone can be motivated for a week, a month, or even a season. But very few can stay consistent for years. Consistency is the grind behind every success story, the invisible force behind every breakthrough. It's what builds momentum when motivation disappears. Because the truth is, your progress doesn't care about your feelings. It only cares about your actions. Every small decision, every step you take, every task you complete compounds over time. One day of effort may not seem like much, but stack it up day after day, and suddenly you've built something unstoppable. Consistency is the difference between trying and becoming, between talking about your goals and living them, between hoping for change and creating it. When you're consistent, you build trust with yourself. You start proving to your own mind that you can rely on you. That's the most powerful confidence in the world, self-trust. Because once you know you'll show up no matter what, fear loses its grip. You don't need to wait for motivation anymore because discipline has taken its place. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop chasing the feeling and start chasing the standard. You understand that real growth happens in silence, not when it's easy, but when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's lonely. Consistency becomes your weapon. It becomes your identity. You start to realize that it's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about never stopping. It's about showing up again and again until the process itself shapes you into someone who cannot be broken. There will be times when your efforts seem invisible, when progress feels painfully slow, when you question whether it's even worth it. But that's the moment consistency does its magic, because consistency doesn't always show immediate results. It works in the background, building your skills, strengthening your habits, hardening your mindset. Every rep, every page, every practice session, every hour compounds. You might not see the change day by day, but one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. That's the reward of consistency. Transformation without permission, growth without applause. You become the kind of person others can't understand, the one who keeps moving forward without needing external validation. You become resilient, grounded, unstoppable. The people who rely only on motivation burn out because they chase the feeling, not the process. But the people who rely on consistency, they build empires. They outlast everyone else because they've mastered the art of showing up. They don't sprint, they endure. They don't explode with passion for a week. They quietly build for years. Their success looks effortless from the outside, but behind it is a mountain of consistent effort, discipline, and focus. That's what separates winners from quitters. Not talent, not luck, but consistency. Because when you commit to being relentless, when you decide that no matter what happens, you'll keep moving forward, you stop being controlled by emotion and start being powered by purpose. And when you finally reach that level, when consistency becomes who you are instead of what you do, everything changes. You don't wait for good days to give your best. Every day becomes a good day because you're doing what matters. You start to realize that the grind is not punishment, it's privilege. It's proof that you're still in the fight, that you're still chasing something worth it. Consistency becomes your silent promise to yourself, the invisible contract that says, I will not stop. And while others wait for motivation to strike, you'll already be 10 steps ahead because you understood the truth. Motivation sparks the fire, but consistency keeps it burning. The courage to keep going through pain and failure is what defines the true warrior spirit. Anyone can fight when things are easy, when the wind is at their back and the world is cheering them on. But real courage is born when everything falls apart, when the noise fades, when you are left alone with nothing but the echo of your own thoughts and the weight of your own scars. Pain will come not as punishment, but as a teacher. It strips away comfort. It tests your limits. It shows you who you really are beneath the surface. Failure will come too, and it will hurt because it reminds you that effort doesn't always equal reward. But courage is not the absence of pain or failure. It's the strength to rise in spite of them. It's looking at defeat and saying, you won't define me. It's falling 7 times and standing up 8. It's continuing the climb when your legs shake, your lungs burn, and your heart whispers, maybe this isn't worth it. That's where courage lives, not in perfection, but in persistence. Pain is the price of progress. Every ache, every bruise, every setback carries a lesson that comfort could never teach. The people who rise to greatness are not the ones who never fall, but the ones who fall and refuse to stay down. They use pain as fuel. They take failure and mold it into wisdom. They understand that struggle isn't a sign of weakness. It's proof that you're in the fight. Because if you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself far enough. Failure means you tried. It means you cared enough to give everything you had. And the only way to turn failure into strength is to face it, to walk straight through it without running away. Courage is forged in those moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. It's in those moments that champions are made, not on the podium, not in the spotlight, but in the silence where no one is watching when you whisper to yourself, one more step. You see, courage isn't loud. It's not about shouting or showing off. It's quiet, steady, unshakable. It's the voice inside you that says, keep going, even when you don't know what's ahead. It's choosing to fight another round when you're bleeding, tired, and broken. It's believing there's still something left in you when everyone else thinks you've got nothing left. That's what separates the strong from the rest. Not talent, not luck, but the refusal to surrender. Pain breaks most people, but it also awakens a few. It awakens those who have something deeper than motivation, those who have a purpose. Because when your reason is strong enough, no amount of pain can make you quit. You stop asking, why me, and start saying, try me. You stop fearing the storm and start walking into it. You stop seeing pain as an enemy and start seeing it as a companion that builds your strength, hardens your will, and prepares you for more. The truth is, every champion you admire has a history of pain written behind their success. Every victory was built on failure. Every triumph was born from struggle. They've cried behind closed doors, doubted themselves, wanted to quit just like you. The difference is they didn't. They kept going when it didn't make sense, when there was no guarantee of victory. They understood that courage is not a one-time act. It's a daily decision. It's waking up and choosing to face the pain instead of hiding from it. It's choosing to try again even when you failed yesterday. It's choosing to believe that somewhere beyond the exhaustion, beyond the heartbreak, there's something beautiful waiting for you. And that belief, that faith, that courage, that's what keeps you alive in the darkest moments when everything inside you screams to stop. Courage whispers that you can still take one more step. When failure knocks you down, courage reminds you that you've survived worse. When the pain feels unbearable, courage tells you that you are growing. You might not see it in the moment, but every second you choose to keep going, you're rewriting your story. You're building resilience, patience, and power that can't be taught, only earned. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize the pain you hated became the foundation of the person you became. That every failure that once broke you became the reason you learned how to rebuild. That every moment of doubt became the spark that lit the fire inside you. Because the courage to keep going through pain and failure isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. The mindset that turns obstacles into fuel for growth is the key that separates ordinary lives from extraordinary ones. Most people see obstacles as roadblocks, as signs to stop, as reasons to turn back. But the ones who rise, the ones who reach greatness, they see obstacles differently. They see them as teachers, as opportunities, as necessary steps in their evolution. Every challenge, every setback, every disappointment becomes fuel. Because the truth is, life will not hand you success. It will test your hunger for it. It will throw storms at you to see if you can still move forward when the sky turns black. It will take away your comfort, your certainty, your sense of control, and that's when your mindset decides everything. When the weak say, this is too hard, the strong say, this is how I get stronger. When most people look for an easy way out, the relentless look for a way through. The right mindset doesn't deny the obstacle, it uses it. It doesn't run from pain. It studies it, learns from it, and grows beyond it. A powerful mindset understands that every obstacle carries a hidden gift. Failure builds resilience. Rejection sharpens focus. Loss deepens gratitude. Adversity strengthens identity. You begin to realize that life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Every hardship is shaping the person you're becoming. The mountain in your path is not there to stop you, it's there to reveal how high you can climb. Every setback has the potential to become a setup for something greater if your mind knows how to see it. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond to it. And that response, that perspective, is what creates growth. The obstacle that once made you want to quit becomes the very thing that teaches you how to win. It becomes your training ground, your teacher, your test. Once you understand that, nothing can truly defeat you. It's not about pretending obstacles don't hurt. They do. They test your patience, your confidence, your faith. But when your mindset is right, you learn to channel that pain. You stop wasting energy complaining about how hard it is and start using that energy to find a way. You start asking different questions. Not why is this happening to me, but what is this trying to teach me? You start realizing that pressure creates diamonds, not comfort. That fire purifies gold, not safety. Growth never happens in the easy places. It happens when you're pushed to your limits and forced to adapt. The obstacle becomes your mirror, showing you what you need to strengthen, what you need to let go of, what you need to become. That's the gift most people miss. They're so focused on the pain that they don't see the lesson hidden inside it. When your mindset turns obstacles into fuel, failure no longer scares you. You start to welcome it because you understand that every loss carries information about how to be better, faster, stronger. You start to see the beauty in the struggle. The frustration turns into drive. The pain turns into hunger. The fear turns into focus. Every no pushes you closer to your yes. Every closed door forces you to build your own. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming a creator of outcomes. That shift from resistance to acceptance, from frustration to learning, that's where growth begins. That's where transformation happens. And once you've experienced that, you stop fearing challenges altogether because you know they were shaping you into something unstoppable. The truth is, your mindset is your greatest weapon. Talent fades, motivation fades, but mindset stays. It's what allows you to keep pushing when others stop, to stay calm under pressure, to see hope where others see defeat. With the right mindset, every obstacle becomes a chance to evolve. You begin to realize that growth isn't about avoiding struggle. It's about embracing it, mastering it, and rising because of it. Obstacles don't shrink as you get stronger. You just outgrow their power over you. What once broke you becomes easy. What once scared you becomes normal. What once seemed impossible becomes your new standard. That's how transformation works. One obstacle at a time, one mindset shift at a time. Every great story has its share of setbacks. But behind every victory is a mind that refused to break. A mind that looked at pain and said, this is my training. A mind that saw failure and said, this is my foundation. A mind that understood that growth doesn't come from winning all the time. It comes from learning how to rise every time you fall. When you master that mindset, life stops being something that happens to you and starts being something you control. You stop reacting to obstacles and start using them. You stop being slowed down by challenges and start being strengthened by them. That's when you become unstoppable. Not because the path got easier, but because you got stronger, the discipline to do what others won't when no one's watching is what truly defines champions. It's easy to work hard when the cameras are on, when people are clapping, when you know someone is paying attention. But the real test happens in the shadows, in the quiet moments when nobody is there to see you grind, when there's no praise, no applause, no recognition. That's where discipline lives. Discipline is not built on emotion, it's built on commitment. It's waking up before the sun rises, not because you want to, but because you said you would. It's choosing to push through one more set, one more page, one more hour when everything inside you wants to stop. It's staying consistent on the days when motivation disappears. Because anyone can work when it's easy, but the ones who separate themselves from the rest are the ones who do it when it's hard, when it's boring, when it feels like no progress is being made. That's the kind of discipline that builds greatness. Discipline is not a feeling, it's a decision. It's doing what's right over what's easy every single day. It's saying no to distractions, no to comfort, no to excuses. It's showing up even when the world gives you 100 reasons not to. You see, motivation might get you started, but only discipline keeps you going. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. It's the invisible thread that ties all your efforts together. The people who rely on motivation burn out. The people who rely on discipline endure. They build habits so strong that success becomes inevitable. They don't wait to feel inspired. They act. They don't wait to feel ready. They begin. Because discipline doesn't need a perfect moment. It creates one through action. It's the difference between wishing and working, between dreaming and doing when you live with discipline. You start to trust yourself on a deeper level. You stop breaking promises to yourself. You stop saying, I'll start tomorrow. You start realizing that every small choice matters, that every skipped workout, every delayed task, every wasted hour compounds, just like every rep, every step, every moment of focus does. You learn that discipline is not punishment, it's power. It's the structure that gives you freedom. Because the more disciplined you become, the more control you gain over your life. You're no longer driven by emotions or impulses, you're driven by purpose. And that purpose becomes unshakable. Discipline is what turns potential into performance, dreams into reality, ideas into results. It's the silent force that transforms ordinary people into legends. Discipline also demands sacrifice. It asks you to give up comfort for progress, leisure for legacy, short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment. It's not fun, it's not easy, and it doesn't always feel rewarding, but it's always worth it. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen the muscle of self-control. You prove to yourself that you can be trusted to do what needs to be done. You start living by standards, not moods. And those standards become your identity. People will call you obsessed. They'll say you're too focused. But that's only because they don't understand what it takes to win. They don't see the hours of work in silence, the sacrifices made behind closed doors, the battles fought in the dark. But one day they will see the results. And they'll call it talent, luck, or destiny. But you'll know it was discipline when no one's watching. That's when it matters most, because that's when habits are built, character is formed, and greatness is shaped. What you do in private will always show in public. The world only sees the highlight reel, but discipline is the unseen work that makes it possible. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the missed parties, the countless repetitions that no one talks about. It's saying no when everyone else says yes. It's doing the work that others avoid. It's mastering the art of consistency even when it's not exciting. And when that discipline becomes your way of life, you become unstoppable. You stop chasing results and start embodying them. You stop needing to prove yourself and start becoming the proof. Because in the end, the ones who win are not the most talented. They're the most disciplined. Discipline doesn't give you instant rewards, but it gives you lasting results. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about always feeling strong. It's about refusing to be weak. Every great athlete, every leader, every creator who changed the world had one thing in common. They mastered discipline. They did what others wouldn't. They sacrificed what others wouldn't. And they kept going long after everyone else stopped. That's what separates winners from watchers. Because when you choose discipline over comfort, you choose progress over excuses. And when you can do that, when you can do what others won't, especially when no one's watching, you don't just become successful, you become unstoppable.